Hey, what's going on, everybody? We got a problem with my Fender American Vintage 2 Stratocaster, and it's a good problem to have. So, in case you guys are unfamiliar with what this guitar is, one of my most recent videos was me unboxing this very guitar. So, if you notice, this is a left-handed Fender Stratocaster, but I did the essentially reverse Jimi Hendrix, right? The Joe Perry, if you will, and I took a lefty and I flipped it. The goal with this guitar was to make it a road dog, like to take it out on the road and to tour with it and play it and try to get, this beautiful guitar some stage time and get it to like wear in a little bit and make it more my own, right? So I made a reel on Instagram with this guitar and it kind of blew up all of a sudden. I'll put that reel right here. In that reel, one of the tracks is live, the other one is pre-recorded, but that is a stereo track, a stereo take, and a full-on mix of this guitar in drop C using the stock electronics. And to everybody's surprise, myself included, it does not sound like a plain old single coil Stratocaster. And I think that's where a lot of the gear nerds and guitar nerds are getting interested in that piece of content. It's like, where does that sound come from? Where does it come from this guitar? And truly, everybody, I really don't know, other than I just threw on the STL Tones Will Putney suite on the track, again, put it in drop C, and let it rip, and that was literally all I did. And there's one other modification. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little bit of dust there by the nut, but I did file the nut ever so slightly to make the wound string sit in the nut better because, it is an upside down nut right now. And rather than hitting the nut with like a little, not chisel, but something in a rubber hammer to knock it off, spin it, and then glue it, I was like, fuck that. Let's just take what we got and just mess with the slots and make them bigger. That is literally the only modifications I've done. I also purposefully wrapped the strings around backwards on this guitar to potentially try to create some more string tension because it kind of goes at like a diagonal angle from the nut break right there. I don't know if that does anything. I was just trying to get more tension and get the strings to sit in the nut better, but I don't think that works at all. Stays in tune though, but I think I'll, for next time I'll go the correct way, the other way. But this is where the dilemma comes into play with this guitar. So I've already filmed me jamming with this guitar and just try to give some more sound clips so you guys can hear what this thing sounds like. But there's two problems. One, the volume knob is very, very uncomfortable right here. So when you're playing, and I'm a rock and metal dude, when I'm chugging and I'm palm muting, I'm always turning down the volume ever so slightly. So after like a couple seconds of playing, it happens rather quickly, I'll start to lose signal, and I look and I keep rolling down the volume. So that is one huge problem. So if I was to keep this guitar completely stock, I would just tape that down, I think. But now I don't have a volume control. The other issue is, dude, this thing sounds so good on its own. This is where my dilemma kind of comes in. So like I said, I wanted to take this guitar on the road. I wanted to make this guitar potentially like my number one for the foreseeable future in 2025. I've got this one, I've got the Jim Root Strat, I've got the orange one, and I've got my Gibson Flying V. Those are like the new guitars that I'm really stoked on lately, and I want to take a couple of those out on the road. And I really want to take this one out as well because it just looks cool. Like, I feel like Joe Perry, doing the upside down Strat. But my dilemma is like, I don't really mind the way this guitar sounds. So to modify this guitar, there's a couple different options. I could either leave it as it is and just tape down the volume knob. I could remove some of the tone knobs, either one or both, and put the volume like here, because this is where my hand or arm never hits that one. Or this one really, but I think the middle one would be the most out of the way. I would never hit that one, I don't think. Another thing I could do is I could throw in a Seymour Duncan hot rails in this guitar. Another thing I could do is I could route out the body and the pickguard and put in a humbucker of some kind. And you guys know where this is going, probably an EMG, right? Take a look at my Gym Root Strat. This is my road dog. This is like the best sounding guitar I've had on the road all of 2024, and I've modified it to pay homage to several players, Jim and Eddie, but also too, it's like the most stripped down and the most, it's the easiest guitar to work on because there's nothing really preventing me from getting in the electronics here or switching out the battery. It's very, very efficient. One pickup, one volume, one output jack, one battery, that's it. So if I were to get this guitar up and running with EMGs, I could work on that on the road rather efficiently. All I need is the quick connect systems. I don't need a soldering iron or solder or extra wires, etc. So I've got an 81 here that's been sitting here that is good to go. I've had it for quite some time, as well as I've always got copious amounts of parts, EMG parts laying all over the place. Or what I could do, I've had this for quite some time. I could throw in an EVH Frankenstein humbucker in this Stratocaster, and I think that would be a really cool homage to this guitar and to, Eddie and modifying Stratocasters. It would make sense, right? Hot output pickup. Sounds great. Eddie's got arguably the best guitar tone of all time, so putting that in this guitar would make a little bit of sense, right? But the issue is I'd have to route out this guitar, and then I'd have to cut into the pickguard, and then wire it all back together, etc., etc. So it's just all good problems to have, but headaches nonetheless. And what do you expect, right? I have a left-handed guitar, and I'm trying to flip it. So there's going to be some work that goes into this. I'm not naive to that, right? But if it didn't sound so good completely stock, I really wouldn't have this issue and this dilemma. So I think I'm gonna, unfortunately, have to modify it in the sense that it will sound better and more of my style with a humbucker. But this, whatever pickup's in here, the 1961, reissue pickup, whatever it is, sounds absolutely amazing. Apart from the volume knob being in the way, this guitar rips, dude. It sounds great. It's kind of hard to play with the volume knob in the way, and, it is what it is, but it just feels great. It looks cool. I feel cool playing it, you know what I mean? That's always a big thing for me. I always want to feel like I'm playing something that inspires me, etc. So, all in all, everybody, I'm pretty stoked with this guitar. We've just got some work to do. Something's got to give, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. So, everybody, that's my video for today. Just a quick little video talking about this Stratocaster. All good problems to have, man. I love this thing so much. It's really cool. I'm really inspired by it. And I just want to share the trajectory going forward with this guitar. This is where it's at, this is where I'm at, and who knows where it'll go in the very, very near future. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a video very, very soon. Later.